Hello, welcome to episode, what is this, 15?
15, yep.
15 of Did You Watch Survivor last night? But hey, guess what? Survivor's not on anymore. So we are instead talking about the challenge and only the challenge. Episode 4. I'm here with my good buddy Thomas Powell.
Hey.
My name's Jake Scheidel. I'm also home for Christmas, so I'm here with my sister Colleen.
Hello.
This is episode 4 of the challenge, Battle of the Bloodlines. This episode was called, I don't know if you all saw this, this episode's called #Corneesa. Do you get it?
Yeah.
Wow, that's very creative.
Because their names are Corneesa, apparently. No one said that in the episode, but that's what it's called. Also, they weren't the main plot of this episode.
No, not at all.
They had like one scene together, and that was it.
They resolved the entire romantic relationship that they had in like 5 minutes too, where it was like the producers asking them how they felt about each other, and then them fighting 4 minutes later.
Yeah. Which is pretty much the entire show, every episode.
I think I would be remiss if we didn't acknowledge that this is an episode of first. This is the first time that we have recorded in the same room together.
Yeah.
And this is the first time that we have had a guest.
Yes.
Woohoo!
This is
I'm the
exciting.
guest.
Yeah, you're the guest. Yeah.
We're all very excited.
You might also hear my dad moving around silverware and dishes in the background. Oh, and
There he
saying hello. So that's also happening because it's Christmas time, and that's what happens.
It's
at
here,
Christmas.
happiness and cheer, fun for all the young and small.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to keep
Yeah,
saying anything after that. I think there's an important question that you haven't asked me.
Yeah, Thomas. Let me ask you this question real quick. Did you watch the challenge last night?
If you mean by last night, you mean literally an hour ago, then yes, I did do that.
Yeah, we stopped watching it maybe 15 minutes ago. So we started watching it an hour ago.
Yeah.
And then, first thing that happens in this episode, they do a recap of what's happened. As we all know, because we all watched the third episode together.
Right.
Tony had a very serious injury, had to go to the hospital, but then came back, but he hadn't recovered, so he was sent back to the hospital at the end of last episode, or at least got in an ambulance. So he goes to the hospital at the beginning of this episode, and then they go to the elimination that was supposed to happen in episode 3, but didn't. So Tony goes off, they go into the elimination pit, and TJ says, "Oh, Candace, your injury is so bad, you also have to leave the show. And since Leroy's your partner, he also has to leave the show." So
That was very abrupt. They were like, "Good
Yeah.
job on that challenge. Also, bye."
yeah, there was no foreshadowing at all. Like we knew Tony was going home because
Yeah.
he had a terrible injury and
And
looked
they
sick.
said about 8 times about how green he looked.
Yeah.
He looked like the Hulk.
Yeah.
There was a point too where it just literally showed him lying on the ground motionless like he died.
Yeah. I don't think he died. I don't think anyone has died on the show that is a contestant during the filming of the show.
Bananas will.
Bananas will be 90 years old and still trying to hook up with 21-year-olds.
He'll be like 55 and like kind of overweight and finally have the heart attack that's been coming for a long time.
You say 55 like that's so far away. That's only like 15 years for him.
Yeah.
Which
15 years of challenges.
he's already done it. So speaking of people dying on the challenge, though, they're filming Rivals 3 right now. Or maybe they're done by now, but a few weeks ago they were. And some people, like crew members or something, died in a helicopter crash.
What?
Yeah. Did I tell you about this?
No, that's crazy.
Yeah, they died.
Where was this being filmed?
I want to say South America, but that might be wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure where they're filming that season.
That's genuinely upsetting. That's not good.
Yeah, I know. Luckily, it wasn't anybody on the show.
Yeah, no, God forbid.
The important people.
If we lost Bananas instead of someone who I assume works very hard on the production of the show, that would be terrible.
Yeah. So Leroy and Candace are out. And then we get into the elimination, because we've already lost 4 people. Why not lose 2 more? Jenna and Larissa have to push a door at each other, and then whoever shuts the door on the other person first loses. That's the extent of the challenge. It's much more dramatic than it sounds. Not much more. A little bit more. The door is a lot bigger than a normal door, and that's what makes it dramatic.
Yes.
Giant door push. That was kind of an awkward looking challenge.
It was. Yeah, it was very strange.
It was like watching a tug of war, but like not. It looked more unnatural than that.
Yeah, it a lot of these elimination challenges have multiple things going on. Like the first challenge or the first elimination, they had to like move a rope over some poles and then pull the rope to another thing, and so there was a lot going on. This one, they just had to push a door.
Yep.
Like, that was the whole thing.
It was just a brute strength challenge.
Yeah,
It's very simple.
So Jenna won that, beating Larissa. So Larissa and Camilla have been eliminated.
Are we sad about this? Am I really supposed to have an opinion?
No, Camilla's a crazy person. Her previous seasons, I mean, oh, you didn't watch any episodes before this one?
No, I
I
didn't.
feel like she's always out really early, though.
Is she?
I thought she was.
She's been in a lot of challenges, and her last appearance was on Battle of the X's, or Battle of the X's 2, or Rivals, or one of them.
If it was Battle of the X's 2, I do not remember her from that season.
She got really upset one night, like really late in the game, and like was throwing chairs around, like big chairs too, like not like folding chairs, but like big chairs.
I think I might remember this.
Yeah.
What did she look like, lazy boys?
They were like, wicker chairs because they
Like
were somewhere
patio
warm.
ones.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
But it was still like bigger than she was, and she was like picking it up and throwing it at people, and she like yelled at someone like, "You're gonna die!" And everybody's just like, "Okay, so
Whoa,
you're getting voted
that is
out next."
hardcore.
Yeah, So then she took a few seasons off, and now she's back, but now she's gone again. And
What if someone did that and they got voted off, but they just kept winning the elimination every time, like the challenge, and you just couldn't get rid of them?
I think that has happened quite often in the past.
Like maybe like was like CT.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't CT get mad sometimes?
CT gets
Yeah.
mad a lot, but CT is scary when he gets mad, so
Yeah.
people don't make him mad. He's not in this season.
I bet he's
Yet.
done. I bet
Yet.
he's done. I bet he's done.
Okay.
You think he's
You
coming
you
back?
keep
I
on
know
thinking
for a
that.
fact
Okay.
he's coming
Yeah,
back.
no,
Do
in the
you
promos
really?
they
Yes.
show him, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
So, yeah, he'll probably be in next episode, because
They have so many people to replace at this
Yeah,
point.
they
so
have-
they
they
can fit their
replace-
episode order.
they replaced Candace and Leroy with, we'll get into it later on in the episode. And then Shane and Tony obviously are out, so they're going to replace them, we assume. And since Tony and Shane are out this episode, he'll probably show up next episode.
And you know that everyone will be like, just when you thought there couldn't be any more twists.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
That's what they
There's
always
gonna be
say.
like 4 talking heads like, man, I didn't think this could get any crazier, and then it did.
Yeah, TJ, or the voiceover person who introduces each episode, was like, a twist you won't see coming. But the summary of the episode said, there's Abram and Michael show up in the show. Like, that's the twist, that they replace someone. That's just a thing that happens on this show all the time. It's not really a twist. The Exile twist in Battle of the X's 2, now that was a twist. I've told you about that. I doubt you remember.
No, I don't remember it, and I don't need you to explain it to me again.
It was a really good
We're
twist.
good. We're good here. We're done.
So Tony is at the hospital, and one of the producers comes in to wake up Shane, it's like 3 or 4 a.m. probably. One thing I noticed is that Shane sleeps with a body pillow, like in the shape of a human body.
Yeah,
not
we
like a
we
long
only got a
pillow.
glimpse of that, but yeah.
We saw enough.
I think it had a shirt on.
It definitely had a shirt on.
This is Bunk Buddy.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Sure.
Thomas and Cara Maria are still flirtatious, which I bring up because we'll get to it. We'll get to why that's important. Dario and Kellyanne hook up. Corey and Anissa hook up. This whole section of my notes is just, and this person hooks up with this person, and this person hooks up with this person.
In the spirit of the dumb title of this episode,
Yep.
I think that Dario and Cara Maria should hook up so they can be Daro Mario.
Cara Mario.
That's also a possibility. It'd be Dara Mario, I think.
Dara Mario
Cario.
and Luigi.
Cario.
Cario.
No, but that sounds too good.
It can't be good.
No, it has to sound terrible.
So Kellyanne is talking to Anissa and says that Dario is silly, which is accurate. He is a very silly person.
sure, take one. That's for
Yeah,
guests.
no thanks.
My dad just came in and
just
like
more,
dropped a dish
just
of
more
candy
from the
between
lovely
us.
staff at Scenic Jake's house.
It's a nice place. And then Mitch talks to Rihanna about Corey and Anissa's relationship, and is like, Corey has a girl back home he's hanging out with. So what's up with Anissa? It's obviously her pushing this whole thing, right? And Rihanna's like, not really. I'm pretty sure they were both into it. And then Corey mentions that he's like in love with this girl back home.
Who he's just hanging out with?
He's just hanging out
This
with.
was very
you know,
confusing.
Yeah. You know how hanging out with people works.
It's confusing when you have multiple dumb people telling different sides of the
Yeah.
story because it's just really going to be all over the place. Which, by the way, having not seen an episode of the season up until now, Mitch sounds like the dumbest person on the planet.
Right, which is odd because his cousin is also the dumbest person on the planet.
Yep.
He's very charming, he's very nice, but he's so dumb.
Yeah,
Which
I think Corey's not so smart.
I think that describes every person on this show. He's charming and nice, but so dumb.
Well, and Corey's a traitor because he lived in Grand Rapids, but he ran off to LA just like that traitor Anthony Kiedis. I don't care how many times you come back to Grand Rapids and play Red Hot Chili Peppers, you still left us.
Where do Red Hot Chili Peppers play when they come here?
Van Andel.
Of course.
Yeah,
Yes.
they play the arena because they're a popular band still
fine.
after all these years somehow.
Yeah. Well, they still put out enough records.
I could not name you an album title after Danny California or whatever. That's probably not even the title
That's
of that.
the song, I think.
Yeah,
The album was Stadium Arcadium.
Stadium Arcadium, yeah, that was the double album.
That was the last
Could not
one I
name you one
remember.
after that.
Blood, Sugar, Sex, Magic.
No,
2?
that was like 10 years. But yeah, the second one, the
second
sequel
one,
to
yeah.
Blood Sugar Sex
It
Magic.
didn't sell as well.
Californication, The Reckoning.
Yeah. They must have come out with a new album since then. That was like
No, they've come out with like
2008.
4. I just don't know
Really?
what they're called at all because I don't care.
Who cares? So Corey is talking to his rookie buddies and is like, I'm just here for the money. Like, it's cool to hook up with people, but let's get that money, right? Right?
Yeah, sure.
And then Anissa confronts Corey because she was like around the corner when he was talking about this.
In like
That
a way,
always happens.
the producers definitely tell them when something like
hey,
this is
Anissa,
happening.
what's happening over in this other room? You should stand outside it.
Yep.
Yeah, I wonder how much the producers...
Because otherwise,
guide
it's like a
these people.
sitcom episode level of people overhearing each other.
Yeah. She's just standing against the wall like, oh.
Who does that in real life, like leaning up against a wall, listening to a conversation? Also, they were talking to each other that time, and I was like, how do you not notice that they're there at that point? They're literally just, I think at one point, Anissa is just like, bullshit, really loud when he says something. Like, you think you would hear her. He's like 10 feet away from you.
Especially, too, because, like, Corey was sitting in his bed, and then he had, like, 2 or 3 other people standing around his bed talking to him, and they could obviously see through the door that Anissa was standing next to, so any one of them could have been like, oh, the person you're talking about is this person, right?
Their, like, line of sight cone was just a little too short for it, so it didn't set off the stealth game alarm.
Every one of them has tunnel vision.
Yeah. They're like the worst Metal Gear Solid guards.
So Anissa eventually confronts Corey, and Corey's like, fine, you're right, I want to go to sleep now. Yeah, that was the extent of their plot
I think
this
they
episode.
fight more about it next week, though.
You think so?
It just seemed like they showed something about it in the previews for next week. Crying and yelling and whatever, but
Oh, the
who knows?
promos.
That could have been something else.
The promos were, they can edit that to make it look like a lot of things, but the promo was exciting though, because there was a lot of yelling at people, and there was a drink that was thrown in someone's face.
Oh yeah, that's very dramatic.
Well, they went out to the club, so these things are going to happen.
Yeah, there were no club scenes this season.
They're getting
or this
them
episode.
drunk, so that's always good.
Yeah, no drinking at all, no partying. I guess they had a lot to deal with 3 teams getting eliminated, and 1 getting replaced. So there was a lot to deal with.
Yeah, they didn't even get to, like, nighttime. This did not eclipse a full day, I don't think.
I don't know.
No, it did. It won.
Yeah, because they woke Mitch up
Yeah.
after that elimination.
I believe the exact conversation was the producers like, "Are you asleep?" And Mitch what's Tom? His
Tony?
Yeah, Tony going, "Little bit."
It was the producer came in and said, "Hey, it's Probst."
Oh, I wish that for anything like that, they just got Jeff Probst to come in and wake him up.
Oh no, you know when you see the Probst on the challenge, someone's in trouble.
Yeah. It's me, I have to take you to your brother.
It's weird that they have the producers come in and tell them that one of the other competitors or whatever is in trouble and like they need to leave. Whereas on Survivor, Jeff Probst will come in and tell them.
What if TJ came in?
It should be TJ who comes in and tells them.
Hey, you need to go see your brother. It would take him like 10 minutes to explain it.
What's wrong with my brother? Oh, he looked green. Now he's in the hospital.
I used to ride BMX bikes, remember?
I looked it up. I don't think he's retired, actually.
Probably not. There was a TJ Levin video game, I think. Back in the extreme sports video game boom. The Tony Hawk boom.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2.
Yep.
BJ
Whoa,
Lavin.
BJ Lavin. The one we all know and love. If I ever got mad at him, I'd be like more like BJ Lavin.
Like, that doesn't really make sense. I wrote half a quote from someone. Do you want to hear it?
Sure.
She's hooking up with someone who has.
That'd be an interesting sentence to finish.
Who could forget?
I had to make another note, and I was like, oh, I'll get back to that. I never got back to it, apparently.
I'm sure it wasn't important because it was a talking head.
Yeah, they're very, very rarely important. So the rookie team guys, and when I say team, I mean like the duo teams, like the Bloodline teams, not the blue team and red team. So that would be Thomas and Steven, Dario and Rafi, Mitch and Corey, and there was another one. Who's the other team?
The rookie team?
The other team, what's rookies?
The other team, the teams that are solely rookies that are all male.
Do you say Corey?
Corey and Mitch, Thomas and Steven. I guess Thomas isn't a rookie, but it's only a second challenge. The Beefcakes, Dario and Rafi. And I feel like there was one other one too.
I'm sure there is.
But I can't remember.
You would know better than I do. I'm still trying to figure out everyone's name at this point.
Yeah. So they all form an alliance and are like, if whoever loses, we can't throw any of our people in to the... So it's got to be Vince or Bananas. It's got to be Anthony. Yeah, throw Anthony in. Who cares?
Yeah.
What has he contributed to this show? Or the other one, because it's a guy's elimination. So they get to the challenge for this episode, and TJ tells them, yes, Tony and Shane are gone. They're not going to be on the season anymore. But they're being replaced, and Abram and his brother Michael come out. Abram is Cara Maria's boyfriend.
Uh-oh.
Cara Maria has been involved with Thomas, so Thomas is looking around sheepishly.
Bright red face.
Bright red face to match his bright red shirt.
Tennis skills aren't going to get you out of this one.
Mm-hmm. Thomas and Steven ruled on the tennis court, and now they're going to rule in the challenge.
I will say that I do like him a little bit more now. I actually kind of like Thomas, but I like him a little bit more now knowing that he is a person named Thomas who played tennis.
Yeah, because you were
in
a
high
person
school, because
named
I
Thomas.
did both of those things.
I was named Thomas in high school, and also played tennis.
Yep.
So, like, obviously everybody who has been in the house knows that Cara Maria and Thomas have this thing going on, and everybody's just kind of really giddy and giggling when Abram and Cara Maria are, like, making out when they first see each other. It's like,
Oh, they were making
going
out a lot, too.
Abram apparently has a very short fuse and is kind of a wild card. So has been said about his gameplay, and they showed some clips of him in previous seasons.
Yeah, he said, he's like, I thing about me is I guess I'm kind of crazy, and they showed a montage of him acting crazy. This wasn't someone saying they're crazy and just being like, blah, every once in a while.
I'm so crazy, I take shots at a bar.
Yeah. No,
that's a normal thing people do.
He does seem like he is hyper-competitive in a way that's not necessarily healthy.
Yeah. As Cara Maria said, I don't think it's going to be straight-up fighting. I think it's going to be that kind of serial killer silence.
Where nobody wants to go to sleep.
Yeah. So then they get to the challenge, which TJ mentions, as he mentions every season, this is his favorite challenge of the season. It's the trivia challenge, which is always a good time because, as we've previously discussed, these people are stupid. They ask them to spell words like intelligence and column.
Sometimes they can't.
Sometimes they can't spell.
Although
these
I
very
would have
simple
lost
words.
misspell because despite the fact that I was an English major, I thought that there was one S, not two.
One of the questions Jenna gets... Remember, this show is filmed in Turkey. Turkish flag is everywhere. Jenna is asked, what colors are the Turkish flag? And she has to wait a long... She waits a long time to answer that question.
Long enough for the production team to show like 8 different shots of Turkish flags that are just in the harbor around them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So the challenge is there's... Each person gets a partner from their own team, and then they stand on a platform. One of the partners stands on the platform. The other one is in an inner tube below them. And if the person on the platform answers 2 questions wrong, the inner tube blows up and explodes, and they fall into the water. So they ask Jenna what the colors of the Turkish flag are. They show a flag on a boat. They show a flag back on the land. They show a shot of like 8 flags on 8 different boats, all we can assume nearby. And so finally she's like, "Oh, red and white." And like, yes, you.
Also,
you are
TJ
correct.
was wearing a red and white T-shirt.
Yes, he was. So yeah, the red team wins, which Nicole, Nani's cousin, won the game for them, which was surprising because of all the dumb people, she seems to be the dumbest, but...
She at least appears to be the dumbest.
She definitely appears to be the dumbest.
No, she held her own here.
She got through it. I think she just happened to know the certain trivia questions that she was asked.
Yeah, and like wasn't quite as dumb as someone like Jenna.
Yeah. Well, Jenna did fine. She got the Turkish flag question right.
Both of her questions she got right, and it took her forever. Like, it was, the other question was how many ounces are in 2 pounds. And she knew that there was 16 ounces in a pound, which is great. But it took her a good 15 seconds to multiply 16 by 2.
She didn't even multiply, she added up. She started at 16 and then was
counting to another 16.
That's embarrassing.
she counted 17, 18, and everyone was like looking at her like, do you really have to do this right now? Is this really a thing that you have to do? Yeah, it was... So there was no elimination this week, because again, there was a lot going on. Really should have done a double episode, to be honest, but I guess they're doing that next week. Oh, did you know that they're doing a double episode next week?
I did not know that. I know that now.
Yep.
Thank you.
That's happening. So, that's the episode. How long was this? Like 2 seconds? 23 minutes? That's not bad.
We've been going a decent amount of time.
Yeah, that's alright.
Yeah, no, they cut off before the elimination.
Yeah, they did. So there was a lot going on, but it was a lot going on that we could all explain in like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So
it's not a complex show.
Not a lot of strategy.
Colleen, what were your thoughts on this episode? Who do you think is going to win?
I couldn't even tell you all the players' names right now.
I'm in the same boat.
So I'll have to answer that question later.
Who don't you like?
Well, I'm very glad that Tony left because I didn't like him. Or got sent home from the hospital or whatever. Not really a fan of Nani's cousin, whoever won
Nicole.
really well, just because
she looks creepy, right?
she wears too much makeup.
Yeah.
She does wear a lot of makeup.
A scary amount. Like, not even pretty, a scary amount.
Oh, yeah. I was explaining to my mom last night how, like, eyebrows are very popular now. Like, you gotta have good eyebrows.
Eyebrows on fleek?
Eyebrows on fleek, yeah. But
there's a
lot of people,
point of no return that you get
certain people will take it a step too far, where they'll be like, oh, your eyebrows are too full. Like, it just looks like paint swatches on your face.
Yeah, there's a point where you cross that line and you see the person's eyebrows and you're like, ugh.
Yeah.
Whoa, what happened?
Yeah, she's one of those people who thinks she's really hot and is just like, no, you're scary looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I also don't like her.
I don't know that there's ever anybody I actually like.
Yeah.
I mean, Leroy's gone. So.
Leroy's gone.
It's more of just who do you dislike the least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Bananas.
I kind of like Bananas. He bothers me sometimes.
Okay.
I like Thomas okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think he might be someone I root for.
But that's-
I also don't like Vince, so I wouldn't mind seeing
Oh, yeah.
Bananas go home. Other than that, yeah, I don't know. Whoever.
Yeah, I think the casting was interesting. I like what they did, bringing relatives in. But the relatives kind of had this sprung on them, whereas like a real world person or somebody from one of those shows kind of knows that this might happen, so they can train a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's very obvious that like Candace got 10 stitches in her lip and she had to leave, and Brianna is like in way over her head, and it's like these people aren't ready for this game, whereas people who have been on the show already are like, oh, okay, this is what it's about.
But they need more people to be on the show.
Yeah, they do.
Because the veterans are all going to leave soon, so
Mm-hmm.
they need new people that everybody recognizes.
Yeah.
If you can get, even from, each season that you're getting new people, 2 or 3 people that are going to be able to come back, you're in pretty good shape.
Yeah. They used to do a show, or a version of this show called Fresh Meat, which was kind of the same thing. It would be 10 veterans and then 10 rookies, and each veteran would pick a rookie, but they haven't done a season of that in 10 years or something like that.
I should probably do one of those, huh?
I guess, but it's kind of past. They don't do the ruins anymore, or the island, or they're more interested in the emotional connection between people and how that influences the game more so than they used to be. You watched the challenge a lot more than I did, Colleen, early on.
I don't remember them.
No.
I just remember the recent ones, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Which were all exes, relatives, I guess, now.
Yeah.
I guess they're just trying to play up the drama aspect more than, the actual game aspect, which is kind of unfortunate, because that's not what Survivor does, and I guess this isn't Survivor, though.
Yeah, Survivor did a good job balancing those two things in Blood vs. Water both times they did that. Yeah, this one's much more about the drama. Like Shane said, you're about the drama, bro. You do remember that?
Yeah, maybe they could get Johnny Drama to be on...
From Entourage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of that person. Never saw that show, but I've heard of it.
You could hang out with Johnny Bananas. just get Kevin, Kevin Dillon. Get Kevin Dillon on there.
I was going to say Kevin Pollak.
What's
I
he
was like,
doing?
I know it's not
The
Kevin
Entourage
Pollak.
movie's done. Kevin Dillon's not doing anything.
The Entourage movie 2. Entourage Harder.
Oh, boy. Alright. We can probably stick a pin in this. I think
I think that was good.
I think we covered it
How'd you
pretty
like
well.
it?
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Very good for my first guest appearance.
I enjoyed it.
No, you contributed a good amount.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Very pleased with it.
Thank
Would have you on again.
Yeah,
Oh,
next
wonderful.
Christmas.
Wonderful.
Yep, 1 year from now.
Wonderful.
All right, so for Did You Watch Survivor Last Night? I've been Jake.
I've been Thom.
Colleen.
Have a great summer.
Have a great summer. Bye.
Person dead from such is plenty. No need to go get locked away. When I leave your arms, the things that I think of, no need to get over alarmed. I'm coming home. I wonder which brother is better, which one our parents love the most. I sure did get in lots of trouble, that seemed to let the other go. A tear fell from my father's eyes. I wondered what my dad would say. He said, I love you and I'm proud of you both in so many different ways. I get murdered in the city, go read the letter in my desk. Don't bother with all my belongings, but pay attention to the list. Make sure my sister knows I loved her. Make sure my mother knows the same. Always remember there was nothing worth sharing like the love that let us share our name. Always remember there was nothing worth sharing like the love that let us share our name.